Had a fun little adventure today. I didn't find a whole lot of like really neat artifacts, but I did find a few Civil War things. But you might want to hang out and watch it, because I see some really neat things today. This is the end of the day, obviously. I didn't find a whole lot, but I made enough video that I think it would be fun to watch. And you get to see a Civil War camp that is a winter camp that's all dug in, and you can still kind of see where the huts were. I find a really neat big old buck in the woods that's dead, and it's the antlers and like an arrow sticking in it. I found a neat snake today and saw some other really cool things. So I think it's an interesting video, and I think you'll like it. But before I start, I want to do a quick shout out to my friend Reed in Winchester. Reed and his father came to see me yesterday at my house. They wanted to see my collection. And Reed is kind of new into metal detecting, and he wanted me to show him how to, they use this, set up the AT Pro and stuff. And we were looking at my collection, and Reed's dad picked up one of my relics, was looking at it and said, what is this thing? And Reed, he didn't skip a heartbeat. He said, why, that's a crow's foot battery. Can you believe it? The young man knew what a crow's foot battery was, and it had to be for my video, of course, but, it's amazing what they pick up, isn't it? Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, so right to the video. We'll see a few things, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I had a great time making it, because this is the first warm day of spring. You can hear peepers out there, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful day to be out. I hope you enjoy. Here's a neat little beaver dam out in the middle of the woods. Wasn't expecting to see this today, but it's always a nice, pleasant surprise when you come across these little gems of nature. Isn't that neat? A few tracks here. Probably just deer. Nice little pond right there. If you look in the water, you can see the trees that have been girdled kind of at the end of the shovel here. See where they've been girdled, and they're trying to knock those trees down so that they can eat the bark and all the little twigs and stuff. And that's what they do, is they build these ponds, not just so they can play in them, but so that they can move around freely without being attacked by other predators, whether it be dogs or, in the old days it would have been wolves and things like that. So that's why they build those dams. So you can see who's been chewing on that tree. Step across. Yeah, let's get a close up of this tree over here. It looks pretty cool. I think you'll appreciate this. This is neat looking. He's been working this one pretty hard. See all its tooth marks all over it, where he's getting down into the wood really good here. And he'll just keep chipping away at that, and eventually it will fall over. Hopefully not on him. And then he can get to all those little delicious branches up there. That's what he wants. He wants those little branches. They're nice and tender and juicy and full of nutrients. He really isn't after this stuff. He wants the good stuff up top. But yeah, you can see how the trees over there is doing the same thing. So this is just a highway for them. That's what it really is. Just so they can move around and be safe and get to the trees and the bushes. And he'll probably build a little house out in the middle somewhere so that the dogs can't get to him. This is his community. He has built a community. This whole bottomland will turn into a meadow, and it'll be open, and there'll be grasses and stuff like that long after the beaver's gone. And then the trees will start growing again. And guess what? 100 years from now, there might be another beaver here. His great-great-great-grandson and daughter might be out here with their little home a century from now. Cool. There's a little snake in the grass. Do you see him? It's out here getting some spring sun. Lucky devil. Well, I am too, I suppose. I guess I'm lucky as well. Look at that thing. Look at the tail on him, huh? Not sure what kind that is. Get a close up. Hard to see. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyeballs. You can see that they're round, like a human eyeball, the pupil. The pupil's round. That's how you can tell it's not a poisonous snake. Anytime you look at a poisonous snake, or any snake in the United States, look at its eye, and if it has a slit like a cat eye, then it's poisonous. And if it's round, it's probably not poisonous. Now, I don't know if coral snakes are the same way, but you're only going to see those in certain areas. That's one way to tell. Cool, huh? You see he's all covered with mud, so he just came out of the water down there probably. They get in the springs and stuff up in the banks where it doesn't freeze as hard. It's probably a bunch more around here because I'm probably pretty close to the winter den. I'll keep my eyes open. Hopefully I won't step on any. Decided to come down near the water's edge here. Kind of look around a little bit, and there's all these fish washed up here that are dead. There's one there. I've already passed a bunch of them. All different kinds too. I don't know if it's the cold weather that killed them or what. There's a big old fellow there. I guess the eagles will be happy though. There's another one. Look at them all. Poor little dude. Huh. Looking for treasure. All I see is dead fish treasure. I don't think we really want to gather up any of that though, do we? Oh, there's a snakehead. That's actually the first one of those I've ever seen. Ooh, he is ugly. Look at that thing. Yeah, I hate to admit it, I haven't caught one of those yet. But they're obviously around. Something mowed down on that one too. Weird. So I've been wandering through the woods for the last hour or two looking for this camp that a friend told me about. Should be back here. And look at that. It's a big old flag somebody put in a tree for me. Saying, looky, there's a Civil War camp here. That's an old bottle. Definitely Civil War vintage. And they probably dug it out of a trash pit and put it up there like a big neon sign that's flashing for everyone to see that, you know what, there's a camp right here. Don't do that unless you want people in your camps digging them. Now this guy told me I could come here today, but he didn't want me to bring in anyone else. And he doesn't want me telling anybody where it is. So I'm going to respect that. But I'm not saying he did this, but someone did. And drew me right to it. Thank you. A bunch of bricks down here too. These are all bricks from the hut sites. The fire chimneys and stuff they would build in the huts in the winter. This is a winter camp. Cool. Now he said it was all dogged out. There's nothing left. But we're going to get in there and see what we can do today. Let's get right to it. The signals have been a little bit sparse in here. A lot of iron, but not many good signals. I did dig a fired musket ball a few minutes ago. That's not too exciting, but I have another similar signal right here I'll let you listen to. There's a T2 with me today. Here. It's reading 60s, high 60s, 70s, so hopefully it's something good. We're hoping anyway. Alright, now I didn't bring my sling with me today, because this is the first time I've been out in 2.5 months. So let me dig this hole real quick and we'll see what it is. That should have gotten it out, I think. Didn't sound like it was too deep, did it? Yeah, definitely out. Okay, good. It's sounding quite as good now. Yeah, I think it's still alright. Get the old pro pointer out. That's a little bullet, probably a pistol bullet, too big for a bucking ball. That would have gone to a Civil War pistol, right here in the camp. Well, at least we're not skunked on the drop stuff. See if we can find some more. I actually have the new Garrett carrot, but I didn't bring it with me today because I forgot it. Like I forgot just about everything, it seems. Look, it filled up with water. It didn't take long. All right, we'll go ahead and work our way back up this ravine. I can see a brick right there, so there could be some stuff that maybe washed down from the camp. We'll check that out real quick. Just up above the brick, and on the side here, I got another little squeaker. Reading high 50s. That should be something good. I mean, it could be a shotgun shell, but we know it's not a nail. Alright. Oh, yeah, always remember to fill in your holes. I didn't show the last time, but I did. I'm sure that got it. Didn't sound like it was too deep, did it? Nope. Fill in a hole. I think we can get this with a pro pointer though. It's pretty sandy here. I hope. a sneaky little devil, wasn't it? Piece of melted lead. This is where the soldiers would have had their campfires and threw a bullet or two in there, or used the cartridge to start a fire. It's just melted lead. Very common in campsites. You'll find tons of this stuff. In fact, if you're out wandering in the woods or the fields and you come across little chunks of melted lead like that, you're probably near a campsite. Well, that was a decent signal. Hopefully the next one's a button. We'll see. Bill, Howard, won't we? Yeah, I'm up out of the ravine. I'm going to head across this hillside here. You can see where it's all disturbed. If you look real close, I mean, you can, well, you don't have to look close, but you can see that it's like stepped down. This is where they would have had the cabins and the roadways and stuff. They, the soldiers dug all this out to make a camp. You can look up on top right there. You can see that rock right up in the air. See how red that thing is? That's because that was where fire was. That's where they had their probably big campfire. You know, they would keep going all the time. But in the meantime, I have a nice little signal here. Listen to this thing. Get a little bit of a squeak. Jumping around a little bit. But because it's squeaking like that, I know it's not iron. So we're going to go ahead and dig it. Could be a button, could be a little bit of melted lead, could be a shotgun shell. Alright, should be right in here though, right in this loose dirt. Your iron, listen, hear that iron? It's kind of a grunt, that's iron. That's the good signal right there. Alright, let's get the probe pointer out. That's annoying, isn't it? Sorry about that, jeez. I don't know why I was doing that. Alright, that is a little buckshot, like a buck and ball. Cool. Yeah, this is the fire pit we saw from down below. You can see, it looks like someone maybe has dug holes here not too long ago, within the last year or two. That could be an animal, but probably not. But you can see the fire reddened rock. You can see how it's red right here. If you look around on this side, usually you can see like little cracks and stuff. You can see little cracks in here. See how red that one is? But something you have to be careful about though, is this is sandstone. And when you use sandstone around campfires, if there's moisture inside, and there's always moisture inside, sometimes it'll explode. So this thing will get good and hot, the steam will build up in there, and bam, it'll explode, throw chunks everywhere. In fact, this is probably what happened to this one here. This one, see that's all broken. And this one here, it's big chunks taken off of it. So whenever you're making campfires, try not to use sandstone. I mean, it doesn't happen every single time, but when it does, you'll regret it. I mean, it's not going to kill you probably, but it'll scare the heck out of you. But yeah, you can see people have been digging in here. And some bricks again. During the Civil War, the soldiers would scrounge around and find bricks so they could make the chimneys for their huts. So this might have been an old house they tore down somewhere. I mean, I guess they could have bought them, but usually they just stole them from places that were abandoned. And one interesting thing about bricks I'm going to show you too, as you can tell, a lot of times when you look at a brick, where it came from in the kiln when they fired it. If you notice, that side just looks like a normal brick side. But look here, see how it's really smooth and kind of shiny? That means this end of the brick was really close to the fire. So when they had them stacked, you know, around the fire, heating them up, this was like right against the fire, and it makes it almost like glass right across here. So you can even tell where the bricks were stacked when they were making it. Now, not here, of course, but you know, in the brick factory, wherever that might have been. Pretty cool, huh? All kinds of neat things you can learn about history. You know, if you just open your eyes and just look at the weird stuff like bricks. Who would have thought? Who cares, really? But I do, so. Oh well. We'll go ahead and look around here a little bit more. You can see this flat area. They probably had a tent or something right here. You know, these areas that were dug out. I mean, it's definitely been disturbed all through here. I think we're going to find a lot of melted lead, a lot more melted lead and small things. But, you know, the guy did tell me it's been hunted for 30 years. So all the big stuff and easy stuff's going to be gone. But that doesn't mean we're not going to find some good stuff. So we'll keep looking. So I'm still detecting along here. And I got the faint whiff of death and decay. And you know me, I'm always looking for weird things. So I started following the odor, you know, headed into the wind, hoping that I would find something that wasn't too disgusting. And I did. Look down there. I see rib cage. See it? Now, you know, I'm always looking for humans, dead humans, because, you know, you never know. I mean, hunters fall out of trees and stuff, but obviously that's not a human. So let's go down and take a look at it. Looks like a big old buck from here. I can see some antlers on it. Ooh, that's a nice one. It definitely is stinky, huh? Smell that thing. Whew. Take a look at her. See what we got here. Looky! That's what killed it right there. That arrow. That's too bad. Well, I mean, it's too bad for the deer, but it's also too bad that the hunter didn't get it. This is his arrow right here. Look at that. Those little beetles, I call carrion beetles, and they're the last things that come to feed on a carcass. Now first you'll get your maggots and all that other stuff, and once they eat everything they can eat, these guys will come in there and just clean up everything. I mean, this will just be white bones soon. But that's what it is. Nice old buck. If it's a little bit less gross, I might take it with me. That's a little too gross for me. Yeah, see, he's still got some flesh on there. Might get a maggot or two in there. There's brains probably in there. Ooh, you can see crawling up inside. Not disgusting. But we're going to go ahead and leave it. I'll leave the arrow. I'll put it in the ground here. Not much else I can do with it, really. Alright, let's move on. Death in the woods. Very sad. Here's a small edible wild berry that you can chow down on if you're ever out in the woods and you just want to do something fun, or even if you're hungry. These little red berries right here. Get it close up there for you. Those are called teaberries. And if you're an old timer, you might remember the teaberry flavored gum. Might have been called teaberry, I'm not sure. But yeah, these little guys right here are delicious. Gobble them right down. Well, chew them first. Yeah, it wasn't exactly delicious, but it wasn't bad. I'd eat more if I had to, but I don't have to, so I won't. So right here, I'm sitting on what was an old Civil War hut site. You can see it's kind of square around here. There's a big, well, I won't say it's a flat area, but you can see it's been dug out already. So I thought I'd just dig down into it a little bit to see if anyone else had done that before, because a lot of times there might be a foot or 2 or 6 feet of dirt on top of some really nice relics and bottles. So I went ahead and dug this out, and I can tell that no one's done this before, because you can see the nice dark dirt here, and it gets a different color, and then on the bottom here, this would have been the floor of the hut. So this hut wasn't very deep. This is the brick and some of the charcoal and stuff, and underneath that it gets into the natural soil. It has changed, so we know it was only about this deep. But had this been dug out, we wouldn't see these lines. It would all be mixed together in one color. This is some of the dirt I dug out, and again, you can see that line right here. See it? That's the line. This was, they were walking right here during the Civil War. So everything below it, you know, there won't be any bullets or anything like that. Everything will be right up in here. And you can see this soil here is really dark and rich. You can see pieces of charcoal in it. And if you run the metal detector over it, you can hear it's loaded with iron. Hear that iron in there? So there's probably some good buttons and maybe a few bullets in there too. I don't have enough time to really dig this thing out today though. And what we'll do, so you know, the water's not warm yet. I'm still land hunting for a while, so we'll go ahead and cover this back up. And we might come back in a week or two and dig around some more, and hopefully be some buttons or something in there, or maybe a bottle or two, which would be nice. I like finding bottles. So alright, we'll go ahead and look around a little bit more and see what we can find. So this is the extent of my finds today. I didn't do too good. I got one, well, I got a couple of shotgun shells, but that's the only one I could find in my bag right now. These are shotgun slugs. These are modern. You can always tell if they have those grooves like that. This is have the same type of grooves, but they're a little bit different. Those are modern shotgun slugs. I have one fired musket ball, a little buckshot, and a little pistol shot, a few pieces of melted lead. And one thing that may be a button, but I'm not convinced because I think it's made out of zinc. If it's made out of zinc, it's probably not a button. I can't really tell for sure. And a little piece of wire. And that's it. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have better luck. He'll be with me. So keep your fingers crossed. I think I just killed him. Oh man, I can't believe I just did that. Poor little dude. Doesn't look very happy, does he? Ah, he's fine.